I had a customer come to me with his Les Paul. The one thing is, he has tried Seymour Duncan Antiquity P90s, and he would really like these installed into a guitar of his. He wants them in this guitar, which was made for humbuckers. Now, the easy thing would be to select a model of P90 like the Seymour Duncan Fat Cat, which fit into a humbucker housing, and you can just do a simple pickup swap. He really likes the Antiquities, but that will require some modification on this guitar. So I'm going to show you my method to do this with as little alteration to the guitar as possible. Okay, before taking anything apart, there are some important details to keep in mind when doing this modification. First of all is that Gibson uses a tunematic bridge on this guitar and a carved top. So the geometry of the guitar is that the neck is angled back, and in order to keep their pickups facing the strings evenly, they use a tapered pickup ring. Now, if I were to take this out and route for a P90 and then simply mount the pickup down to the wood inside, the P90 would end up like this, where one edge is going to be closer to the strings than the other. And we can't be having that. We need to have the pickup sitting square to the strings. And now this is going to be what is kind of the biggest challenge in making this guitar look nice when the job is done. So again, remove the pickup. We've got our route for a humbucker. When we go to put a P90 in, you end up with all sorts of extra gap on the sides over there. So when we do the P90 route, all we're really doing is removing these corners here, just widening a little bit, but we're going to be left with all of this over here. The customer doesn't want to see that. Now, this is a transparent finish, so if I were to make wood to fill this in and touch it up, you would still see the line where the old guitar wood and the new piece that I put in would be. And with the lacquer finish, the finish will kind of creep in on that seam. It's going to be a different look than this here. It's just going to be obvious. So the idea I proposed to the customer is we're going to do something similar to what Gibson did back in the early 70s with the deluxe gold tops that had mini humbuckers. And these aren't going to be mounting rings, they're going to be decorative rings. I'm going to make these, square them up, then route in the middle to host the P90. By doing that, saving a lot of time, a lot of finish work being saved, and I'm going to get this guitar back to the customer far quicker. The price of the job is going to be much lower. Like I said, even if he did go with the full deal, getting the wood rebuilt, finish touch-up, you're still going to know that something was done there. This helps hide that gap. Gets the job done a lot quicker too. For the next step, I need to address a certain detail that a lot of people may not really understand until they get started on something like this. When we remove this, our humbucker, the route into the body is quite deep. P90s use 2 wood screws to fasten down into the wood of the body. You can see there how tall that is. Well, if we use a straight edge to simulate the strings, there's almost no wood that the screw is going to be going down into to fasten the pickup into place. So I need to first glue a block of wood down into both of these humbucker routes so that the P90s can actually get fastened, because they do not have a ring or any sort of mount that will mount them to the guitar. So I've prepared some mahogany blocks that will be getting glued down into the route. Now I have my estimates on how much depth I need for the P90s to fit in and be able to come up close enough to the strings. But also another thing to consider is when you're mounting them, you don't want the route too deep because you're only mounting with 2 screws. So if the route's too deep and you just have those screws with the springs, the pickup can wobble around, it can come loose. So the idea is I built up enough room here that when I do the routing, I'll be trimming the top of this to exactly the height that I want so that I have plenty of resistance to hold the pickup firmly in place. Now, when I route, the idea to keep in mind here is the string line, as we stated, is at an angle compared to the top. So this routing template will be at an angle. So I made these a little thicker than I need because I know I'm going to be skimming the top at an angle, and I want to make sure that I end up with the correct depth. All right, I'm done squaring up the pickup rings. And as you can see, what I'm trying to do is get basically the same width as the original humbucker pickup mounting rings. So I'm not covering up a lot more of the guitar face than there was originally. But when it comes to the other measurement, I'm still trying to keep an even outline. So I do have to go a little bit further in length this way. And I'll end up looking real nice. All right, checking in halfway through routing, have the neck pocket done, as you can see here. I'll show you what I do for the bridge one. I'm going to use a bubble level because that establishes my level that I want to have the template based off of. And this is what the moldable plastic looks like. It'll be completely clear when it's hard, but I've allowed it to cool down. It's still soft, but it's obviously not hot. So I take some of this. I'll need 2 pieces. You don't have to get super precise lining it up on any of the axes right now. I'll just press down. There, level. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to let this sit for a while till the plastic starts turning white. That's when it's hard again. It'll turn back to the white color. That's when I know that it's hard, and then I'll use some double stick tape to put this in place, hold it, everything nice and secure, and finish off the routing with the bridge pickup. All right, first couple passes through. Being that this is level with the fingerboard, I can see I'm low enough, but I want to get just a little bit more room so I have adjustment. This is just a little too close. So one more pass, and then we'll be installing everything. The customer is also getting chrome hardware, so everything besides the knobs should be getting changed, and this is going to be a whole new guitar for him. And here is the final result. Everything's all wired up and installed. Chrome hardware. Now the customer is still undecided on what to do with the knobs, so they're still black. And like as I said, got those pickups facing the strings the way they should be. It's time to run this through the amp and try her out.